Hello, I'm back. This is Nicole Ali, and I'm here again with Raw Story. I was scrolling down in the feed, and I just had to do a video on this. It's very funny. Forensic psychiatrist calls for, quote, emergency evaluation of Trump's mental state with or without his consent. I thought this was funny. He looks like he always does, President Tangerine, and he looks like he's saying, "No! I don't have a problem. I'm fine. No." Or he looks like he's saying, "Get him out of here." Whatever he's saying, it doesn't really matter. He's an idiot, as we all know. So the article goes on to say Dr. Bandy Lee, the Yale School of Medicine forensic psychiatrist who briefed Congress on the possibility that President Donald Dump, is dangerously mentally ill, pushed back on Friday against charges that she is acting outside her purview by discussing the mental health of a person she has not yet personally treated. Lee spoke to Vox.com's Eliza Barclay and told her that she and the 27 colleagues who contributed to the book, The Dangerous Case of Donald Trump, are not diagnosing the president but calling for a diagnosis to explain the barrage of troubling symptoms Trump has displayed. Lee told Vox that Trump is now an accelerating mental health crisis that intensified with special counsel Robert Mueller's indictments of former Trump 2016 campaign manager Paul Manafort and his aide Rick Gates, as well as guilty pleas from former foreign policy advisor George Papadopoulos and ousted National Security Advisor Mike Flynn. Trump received a certain measure of flattery and deference on his Asia trip, Lee said, which would be soothing to his constant need for flattery and reassurance. That, however, quote, made him more volatile when he returned. When he returned and faced the progress of the special counsel's investigation, he became more paranoid, returning to conspiracy theories that he had let go for a while. He seemed to further lose his grip on reality by denying his own voice on the Access Hollywood tapes, she said. Lee, who has based her decades of work in the study of violence prediction and prevention, said that Trump's recent behavior is predictive of violence. The sheer frequency of his tweets seemed to reflect the frantic state of mind he was entering, and his retweeting some violent anti-Muslim videos showed a concerning attraction to violence. And then there were the belligerent nuclear threats this week, she explained. A potential nuclear holocaust isn't the only imminent threat posed by an unstable president, Lee said. He could start conflict on many levels with a number of countries, further alienate U.S. allies, or spark civil conflict in the U.S. by laying a foundation for a violent culture that could give way to epidemics of violence. We're already seeing epidemics of violence. Did you forget about Vegas last year, or the shootings and violent attacks that white men have been, and white women have been, and white children have been enacting on people around the country? Is she blind or something? This is an emergency situation, Lee stressed. And professionals faced with dangerous individuals and emergencies are not diagnosing the threatening individual, but taking protective action. So they're trying to protect him, of course, because he's a white male. We are assessing dangerousness, not making a diagnosis. So basically they're just throwing out a hypothesis, which is not illegal. The two are quite separate. Assessing dangerousness is making a judgment about the situation, not the person. The same person may not be dangerous in a different situation, for example. And it is his threat to public health, not his personal affairs, that is our concern, she told Vox. Also, once you declare danger, you are calling first for containment and removal of weapons from the person, and second for a full evaluation, which may then yield diagnoses, Lee explained. With regards to Trump's willingness to undergo psychiatric evaluation, Lee said that mental health professionals are accustomed to the dilemma posed by patients who most urgently need intervention but are the least willing to accept help. That is the reason why in all 50 states we have not only the legal authority, but often the legal obligation to contain someone even against their will when it's an emergency, she said. So in an emergency, neither consent nor confidentiality requirements hold. Safety comes first. What we do in the case of danger is we contain the person, unless they're black and then they get killed. We remove them from access to weapons. And we do an urgent evaluation, she said, adding, this is what we have been calling for with the president based on basic medical standards of care. And then here's the full interview. I'm going to go to that and see if there's anything that stands out to me or stands out to you guys. It's on Vox. I'm not going to put the links in the description box. I'm actually on my way to work, so I don't have the time right now. But this is the title. You can copy and paste that title or type it out. But it's the psychiatrist who briefed Congress on Trump's mental state. And they say this is, quote, an emergency, end quote. And it was posted on the 6th. So this is a couple days old. Trump in the red. Let's see. And then they have a couple of tweets, of course. Well, maybe a few tweets. Let's see. 1, 2. I'm sure there's more tweets down here somewhere. Oh, there's 2 so far. Still loading. Okay, so this one was posted this year, a couple days ago. What is it, 9th? 3 days ago. And then Donald Trump says, actually, throughout my life, my 2 greatest assets have been mental stability. Okay. Let me try it again. Lord, this man. Actually, throughout my life, I'll read in his voice. Actually, throughout my life, my 2 greatest assets have been mental stability and being, really smart. Crooked Hillary Clinton also played these cards very hard. And, as everyone knows, went down in flames. I went from very successful businessman to top TV star. That's my best Donald Trump impression. And then he goes on to say, to President of the United States, quote, on my first try. Parentheses, on my first try. I think that would qualify as not smart, but genius. And a very stable genius at that. Okay, he's tweeting at 4:30 in the morning. Dude, go to bed. I almost called the president a nigga, but you know what? When the shoe fits, man. And then this part right here is important too. Oh, there's a Black Panther. I think there's a video. I'm not going to sully their ad with this video about commentary about Trump, the dump. I'll maybe do that later or wait for Torian to do something about it. This is a question of crucial importance, not just because the vice president and the cabinet or Congress would need certainty about his mental incompetence to invoke the 25th Amendment and declare him unable to do his job, an option that, while still highly unlikely to be used, is now regularly being discussed. And I think Elizabeth Warren was one of the first people, if I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong, Judith Herman as well, I think at Harvard, has said that. Oh, these freaking ads. Yeah, a lot of people, Eliza Barclay, okay, this is the interview with the lady, with the psychologist, Bandy Lee, or psychiatrist, excuse me, and that's going on and on. So I'm going to end it here, everyone. Let me go back to the previous thing at the top and end it there. Yeah, we'll end it with this mugshot, this face. Ugh, the face of failure. I'll end it there, guys. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Comment, subscribe. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you'll be notified when I post new videos. Talk to you later.